Hi everyone, welcome back to the Recreational Runner channel. I'm James, leader in running fitness, and I'm just back from roughly 8k run today, low intensity run, and I've been promising to give you a video on the basic stretching that you should do after a run. So that's what's coming up in today's video. Now there are a few things about stretching that I'd like to point out before we get into the actual basic stretches. And number one is never stretch cold muscles. You should always do static stretches on warm muscles. So that's predominantly after you've been running. A slight exception to that is point number two, which is if you're going to do some speed work. I've mentioned that before in a previous video. If you're going to do some speed work, you do need to stretch your muscles a little bit, but I'm going to record another video about dynamic stretching, which isn't the same as static stretching, and that's what you should do before any speed work. Point number three is never bounce into a stretch, always ease into the stretch. Don't just go straight into a stretch because you could do yourself more damage. My last little point about stretching is if you've got something that doesn't feel quite right in a muscle somewhere, don't stretch it too much because a good coach friend of mine gave me an example. If you get a tea towel and you tie a knot in it and then you stretch that tea towel, all you're doing is tightening that knot and it's harder to get it out. You need to do something else if you've got something wrong somewhere to ease that muscle inflammation or knot or tear before you stretch it. Okay, so let's get into the stretches. After a run, the first stretch I always like to do is a calf. It's a very basic stretch. I like to do it normally against something like a vertical wall because you get an extra added bit of pressure by leaning against something. You can do it just standing free though. So for example, your feet just need to be shoulder width apart, just normal kind of stance, but extend the leg you want to stretch out and bend the front leg slightly, both feet pointing forward, and then you want to plant your heel into the ground. So you're straightening this leg and pushing down through your heel. There shouldn't be any real pressure over the front leg. Now you could do an imaginary wall in front of you and you should feel that stretching nicely down the back of the calf. But if you have got a solid structure, a wall, a shed, then you can do exactly the same thing and just lean into the shed and push, and then you'll feel the stretch in the calf a lot more. And you want to hold any stretch for up to 30 seconds. I like to do them between 15 and 30 seconds, depending what sort of run I've been on and how tight my muscles are. Okay, so that does the kind of top part, the main part of the calf muscle. If you want to get a bit lower down into the muscle, you just bring that back leg in slightly. You can still lean against the wall and then just kind of slightly bend the leg and push down through the heel again, and then lean into the wall, and you should feel that lower down in the calf. The next main stretch I like to do after a run is the hamstring. So for this one, I do it forward facing and then I do side on. You put the leg you want to stretch out in front, nice and straight, both feet again pointing forwards, parallel, shoulder width apart, and then you're going to sit back and you don't have to lean on the leg, but you're putting your weight backwards, and so this leg is nice and straight and you start to feel it stretch in the back of the hamstring. If you want for balance, you can place your hands on the supporting leg, which is bent, and then just lean forwards. So put your chin up, keep your back straight, and just try and lean forwards. And then you'll feel that tighten slowly. So slowly go into it. And again, hold that for 15 to 30 seconds. From a side point of view, if you're not feeling enough of stretch, imagine there's a balloon attached to the back of your shorts and it's trying to pull your bum up in the air. So try and push your bum up into the air whilst keeping the back straight, and you'll feel that tighten and stretch more. Okay, so the next stretch I always do is for the Piriformis, which is a muscle deep in the glute. So this is going to stretch the glute a bit as well. For this one, you really need something to stand on to lean against. If you're out running with a partner, you can go shoulder to shoulder, but obviously not during lockdown, social distancing, unless they're from your family. But you just take the standing leg, bend it slightly, not too much, ankle to knee, and then you're pushing down, trying to get this knee down to the floor. Don't push too hard, just take it easy. Keep the hips nice and straight and lean into it, lean forwards, and you'll feel that tightening from the glute all the way down. And again, hold for 15 to 30 seconds. If you can balance, then obviously you can do it free like this. You can see my legs start to wobble. That's where I need to do a bit more strength and stability training. But there's no reason why you can't do it like this as well. Then I like to do a quad stretch, front of the leg. Again, lean on something if you need to. Grab the foot just below the ankle knees together, stand up tall, nice and straight, and then stretch by pulling the heel into your buttock. You should feel that down the front of your quad, and you can actually lean slightly forwards to strengthen that as well, but keep the back nice and straight again. Again, if you can, standing free if you've got nothing to lean against. Little tip, if you're losing balance, focus on something on the floor and just look at that thing. Some people also hold their earlobe whilst focusing, and weirdly, it gives you a nice balance. If, like me, you suffer from upper body tension and strains in your shoulders, then I like to do a couple of stretches for that as well. First one is arm straight up in the air, drop it, bend it at the elbow, take the other arm, hold at the elbow, and just kind of, with this hand, the hand that's gone behind the back, try and reach down the small of the back and use this hand to kind of help until you feel a nice stretch down your tricep. And a final stretch I like to do for my arms is take one arm across, don't push on the elbow joint, just slightly to the side of it, palms nice and open, and then just bring this one in and across your body, keeping hips and shoulders as straight and forward as possible, and really push that one in. Now, there are plenty more stretches you can do. I'm a leader in running fitness, which is an entry-level coaching position on the rung to becoming a running coach. And they're the basic stretches that I'd recommend for anybody after a run. So do those as a bare minimum. But if you want to find out more, there are plenty of other channels. The running channel has got some fantastic advice on stretching after runs, and there's all kinds of stretches that you can do. So if you've got a particular problem area, then I'd advise you seek professional advice. This video is all about the basic fundamental stretches that I do after every run. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, a like, a share, a comment about what you think, and don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Thanks very much. Happy running.